Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the ForReel podcast. I'm your host, Derrick Murray, and this episode we are going to be talking about a lot of things, but primarily the movies that have been released in March. And we're just kind of going to do a March Madness, guys. It's wrapping up. We're not sports guys, but we're cinephiles, so we'll do our best, and we'll see what we can do when it comes to that. But March was a packed month. Tons of stuff coming out this month. I think we'll have a pretty good discussion about whether or not movies are back. A lot of South by movies that were big hits at South by pretty much all got released almost right away. So there's plenty to talk about, tons of stuff. So I hope you guys are excited for this conversation. Joining me, I have Mr. Zach. How are you today?
I'm great and ready to talk about whether or not we're back or it's over.
Awesome. My favorite thing to do as a movie lover. We're so back, it's so over. I love the flip-flop. Every day it's different. And then I have, of course, Shawn. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about these movies, man. March was a good month, I must say.
Yeah. And joining us from the dark, I think, from the Shadow Realm.
The Shadow
we've got
Realm.
Luca.
Hi, happy to be here.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I'm very excited to talk movies with you guys. So the first thing I do want to talk about before we really dig into March, this was a very strange year where the Oscars basically felt like they were never going to happen because they just put it so late in the calendar year. So I kind of want to get your guys' vibe on, and I'm not going to call on anybody, so you guys can just kind of jump in. But I want to get your guys' vibe on like the Oscar hangover. Like how are we feeling in the wake of the Oscars? Because we had to spend way too much of 2026 talking about the two best movies of 2025. So how are you guys feeling in the wake of the hangover or the Oscars? I mean,
Does anybody want to start?
Yeah, I'm already exhausted. Like I'm kind of like tapped. I don't know. It's like forcing me to not care about award season, which is something that I've cared about ever since I was 12 and like Mad Max Fury Road was sweeping. And we'll get into it. I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm seeing a certain movie that we will be talking about on the podcast say that, and I'm seeing that it's already like an Oscar contender, and I'm not going to argue with that specifically because I do think it could be, but also like, damn, it's not even April. Like, I guess my thesis to this mini tangent is that like we really gotta chill and at least like wait until Cannes before we like say like anything is gonna do this or that. And I'm kind of being a hypocrite because I was thinking that way when Sinners came out last year in April, but also like I think it's just because of how late the Oscars were this year. It's just like we all got tired. People were just grasping at straws for things to get mad about. Like I was hearing about ballet and opera from people who had never even spoken about ballet and opera before.
Bro, even and I've never clicked on anything, but even my Facebook algorithm has started sending me advertisements for tickets to the ballet. That is how bored we were during this Oscar season.
It's a bit silly. And I don't know. I have a great feeling this year's going to be better. I'll leave it at that.
I think that's a good point, obviously, but what I think a part that we don't think about a lot is that 10 years ago, a lot of the movies, if not all of them, would be released earliest Cannes, but a lot of them would be premiering at Venice and TIFF. But we're living in a time now where it really doesn't matter when a movie gets released. It could get nominated for awards. We saw with Sinners last year. Everything Everywhere came out in April. Get Out, even if you want to go back that much. So is it something that has happened because it's online discourse and the Oscars take too long? Or it's because all year round now there are movies coming out that are getting nominated for Oscars because they stay in the conversation for that long? Like, is that something that would have to change? Do we want it to change? What do we think about that?
It's actually a good point. The only caveat to that I say is, what happened to Challengers? Again,
yeah,
I'm
it's
still
like
mad.
It's ridiculous. Dune came out in March and that was nominated for a bunch of stuff, but it could have gone in more if it came out when it was supposed to, which was October that year if it wasn't for the writer's strike. So I love having Oscar caliber movies year round, but at the same time, it's exhausting to be hearing about movies that people were seeing before the Oscar ceremony this year. You know, that movie you're talking about, people were seeing it before the ceremony, and people were like, oh, 2027 Oscars, let's go. It's like, we are not even through this year's Oscar ceremony, and we're talking about this. Like, that's insane. You're right, it should be Cannes at the earliest. But I think that's just where we are with the past couple of years. Earlier movies in the year are getting just as much recognition. So I understand why people talk about them, because we've seen that talking about them this early isn't pointless. Because if you talk about them, you continue to talk about them, they'll be remembered by December and January when awards start happening.
Yeah, I wonder how ironclad of an argument I'm tired is. But oh man.
Like, regardless, the ceremony should be a month earlier, but we had this whole conversation a couple of weeks ago, so yeah.
Well, and it's also, and then Zach, I definitely want to get your thoughts on this too, but it's also, you know, we have January and February for this reason, right? Like the dumpuaries of January and February, where it's all movies that no one really cares about. That gives us that rest, that much needed rest from, you know, the mid to late February, and then you've got like a week or two to just kind of just chill and let the streaming slop ride its day. Let the movie no one wants to see that's been buried since 2020 suddenly have a theatrical release. Like, we get that, and then we can start moving into having these discussions about movies. But we didn't get that because we were halfway through friggin' March, and like, good movies are coming out. And we have to pay attention to the current Oscars, but now start making our hope dictions for the movies that we're currently seeing that aren't in the January slump. So yeah, it makes for a really complicated and tiring award season. So I think your argument is valid, Luca. I am tired too. But I also think, Shawn, to your point as well, and then, you know, Zach, I'll let you chime in. I also think that we get more movies now, and we also get more movies all throughout the year. And that almost forces that conversation. I know we're dancing around it. You might as well just say it. But like Project Hail Mary coming out in March instead of in summer because it's a summer blockbuster, that forces us to have these conversations early. I don't know that I'm jumping on that train, but I get why people are, because it feels like a movie that people would talk about during the award season. But now the award season is all year long, and so it does. We don't get any rest, and it's tiring, but it's also the whole schedule is changing. So, Zach, what are your thoughts on this?
I just am agreeing with all of what you guys are saying, in that we need to, and I said this in the Oscars pod when we did it, but we need to move. I think I said the week in between Super Bowl Sunday, like that kind of second week of February, like that, or that week of the Grammys. That's when we should move the Academy Awards, because this is getting way too egregious. Like you guys were both saying, I was seeing people that I've never seen, that have no knowledge of ballet nor opera, talk about like they know what they're talking about. And it was really funny that on the ceremony for the Oscars this year was March 15th. I saw a film that we are going to be talking about later in the episode on March 13th. And as I was leaving that screening, people were like, "Oh my God, this is it! We're gonna win! It's gonna win Best Picture." I heard somebody as I was leaving be like, "Right, this is it! Ryan Gosling is gonna win. This is it!" And it's like, it's March. You don't know what's coming. Like you guys said, Cannes. I would even go as further to say as Venice and TIFF is when I even start thinking about things like that. Like Cannes, you get the occasional like films like Honora, and I know it didn't really do that well, but It Was Just an Accident was also at Cannes last year. And so you get the occasional like Palme d'Or winner that carries over. But my Oscars thinking doesn't really start, like I said, until about September, that festival window. And so to see everybody, and I'm sure social media hasn't helped us at all, but to see everybody every time, like I've been seeing, like Clayton Davis has been putting out Oscar predictions for 2026 on like March, like the ceremony, like I said, was March 15th. And this dude's putting out predictions on March 16th. Like, come on.
Oh, my brother in Christ. Please don't. Yeah.
I want to say one thing though, before if we're about to move on, but at the end of the day, we're having these are tiring conversations, but we are having these conversations because Project Hail Mary is a great movie. So I think at the end of the day, it's awesome that we're getting great movies. So it's like, I'd rather have a Project Hail Mary than, personally, I was pretty disappointed by Mickey 17, which came out this exact time last year. And I remember people were like, oh, what, like Bong Joon-ho's next movie is going to be like Oscar nominated. And then those died out quickly because it was, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, a disappointing movie. But I'd rather have a Project Hail Mary or a Sinners where we're just getting a great movie. Does it suck that the Oscar conversation has to come along with it no matter what? Yes, but at the end of the day, a great movie is a great movie, and I'll never complain about that, especially coming out as early as March.
Yeah, that's a good silver lining.
Yeah, and I think this year, and this we're going to transition into are we so back or is it so over as we start to dig into these March movies? But I found myself feeling like there was no January slump. I felt like this January, February, I was like, oh, these are actually pretty dope movies. These are, they're not Oscar contenders, but typically I stay home January, February. I very rarely go out to the theater, or I do it for the lulz. You know what I mean? Like I went to the theater and saw Replicas because why not? Keanu Reeves in one of the worst sci-fi movies ever made. But there's nothing else to do, and I didn't feel that this year. So how are you guys feeling about 2026 overall, given the slate that we're going to talk about in March? Because March was packed. Like, I'm dumbfounded by how I did it right before the pod. I was talking to Zach about it, but I've seen 20 new releases in March, and most of them were pretty damn good. That's crazy. That's absolutely wild. That just doesn't happen. So how are you guys feeling about the year overall? Are we in a good place? Are we free and clear? Where are we looking at for 2026?
I think we're.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
you
sorry,
go ahead.
Zach, you want to go?
No, you go ahead, Shawn.
Okay. No, I think it's been a great start to the year. You even look at something like 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Great start. Even horror movies specifically. Primate was a hit. February. I know Scream was like the big one, but we're not going to talk about that. But I don't remember seeing anything that was necessarily slop, which is really good. Usually there's a lot of stuff that just carries over from, studios just trying to wash everything out that they know is not going to be that great. But I'm trying to look. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, How to Make a Killing, Crime 101. These aren't incredible movies, but they were fun, and it gave all of us a reason to go out to the theaters and see stuff. I mean, Wuthering Heights wasn't particularly good, but a lot of people saw it. A lot of people enjoyed it for what it was, even if you want to look at it in an ironic way. But there's not. I'm like looking at the list, and Mercy was not great.
Mercy
I was waiting to bring it up.
Yeah, Mercy. When you think of January, February slop, Mercy is what comes to mind.
So I just want to chime in and say that Zach and I, we ran into Shawn at a 16mm screening of Minority Report recently, and I think I forget, but I may have brought up the fact that like Mercy is just like Minority Report at home.
Yeah, you said that to me as we were walking in. I'm like, what's this going to be? And you're like, it's just like Mercy. And I'm like, oh.
Bad sauce.
But yeah.
But honestly, all things considered, looking in the past, it's been consistent. It really has. And we're only going to get better because we're getting into April. And then before you know, it's going to be May, and it's going to be the summer. And that's when a lot of the big blockbusters come and we start hearing about the canned stuff. And I don't know. It's looking up. It really is. The second half is always a great time of year with the awards season and the holiday season. A lot of studios may save their bigger movies for that time of year, but honestly, the first quarter of 2026 has made me nothing but optimistic from what I've seen to what we're hopefully going to see. Obviously, the year is going to be full of movies that we're so excited for and we're going to be disappointed by, and movies that we haven't heard of right now, but we're going to be hearing about in a couple of months, and they're going to become our favorite movies of the year. Like, that's exciting to me. So every year is a good. I feel like we said this on the podcast before, but every year is a great year for movies. You just have to find them. It's not. You have to put in the work. But I will never listen to someone who says, "Oh, they don't make good movies anymore," or "There's nothing good out right now." There's always great stuff, and if not, there's always going to be great stuff. There's never going to be a low number of great movies to either see or we're going to see. So yeah.
Cool. I think we're back. I think we're so back. I've really enjoyed even movies that I didn't like. I think that there have been some really, really good choices. And I know we kind of all have this consensus too, right? That there really is no bad movie year if you actually watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually go out of your way to watch the movies that are there, then there are great movies that get released all the time. But yes, you do have to put in the work. You do have to actually watch them. You cannot just watch what Netflix drops. And I don't mean to throw them under the bus in that way, because they do actually have some pretty decent films. But if that's all you do, then it's a bad movie year. Like it just is, right? Like you gotta branch out, and you gotta see movies that frankly aren't made in your country, and you will find some great things out there, and tackle independent cinema, and really, really reach out for those creatives. But they exist. All that stuff is there. So, all right. With that being said, with movies are so back, let's talk about the movies that are back in March. March Madness. March was a packed month for movies. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of do a round robin. I'm sure you guys all have kind of lists or movies that are top of mind. So we'll just start. So Zach, I'll start with you. What is a March movie that you watched that you want to talk about?
I'll go in release order here, and I'll talk about a film that I don't know. I think Derrick and Shawn has seen it. I don't know if Luca has, but Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride, which is a film that I honestly really enjoyed. It's got Jesse Buckley and Christian Bale. If you're unfamiliar with the story of this film, it is, I would assume, loosely based on The Bride of Frankenstein. I would assume.
I was gonna say, just for Luca's sake, there isn't one. So just go with that. Just do with that what you will.
I'll roll with the vibes.
It is vibes.
The Bride, I've seen a lot of people dragging this movie online, and I just want to say I am not one of those people. I had a really good time with it. It reminded me a lot of the kind of like, not really like, it reminded me a lot of Joker 2 in a good way. Like, not like all the things I like. It doesn't help that the creative team is the same as Joker 2, and I believe the first Joker as well. I believe Lauren Scher and Hilda Guttendotter, who did the score and cinematography for those films, also did the score and cinematography for this one. One thing I also like that I've seen a lot of people clown on is the fact that the way this film uses IMAX. I got a chance to see this in a 1:43 IMAX theater, and I saw a few people saying that the IMAX shifts are a little like Michael Bay level, like egregious. I honestly thought it was really well done, and the film itself is a little like rocky, but it is genuinely, I had a really fun time with it, and it honestly is it's a bit more out there, but I would put it as more of a companion piece to something like Natural Born Killers.
Derek, do you want to speak on Bride of Frankenstein?
So this is
sorry, The Bride. Jeez.
Here comes the motherfucking bride.
That's right. That's right. Look, listen, I will stand for Jessie Buckley. Anything she does, I'm all about. And she is great in The Bride. She is just absolutely phenomenal. Totally dialed into whatever weird wavelength Maggie Gyllenhaal is trying to create here. Christian Bale is, I don't know what he's doing, but I didn't hate it. I can't tell you what it is. It is something. Yes, he's doing something. I don't know what it is, but he's doing it. There's a moment.
He's just a Frankenstein that likes movies, man.
Look,
he's just like me.
I have
never related to Frankenstein more than when he has a panic attack. He has a literal panic attack because he cannot go to the theater. And I was like, holy shit, that's me.
Representation matters, people, okay? Never let them tell you differently.
poor guy just wanted to see Jake Gyllenhaal as Gene Kelly. That that's his life. That's real, by the way.
Yep.
This is one of those movies that, like, objectively it's bad. Like, if I put my critic hat on, it's a bad movie. There's just no way around it. It's not good. But I also vibed with it. So, like, even though I gave it a pretty low rating, I think I gave it like 5 out of 10 or something like that. Like, I would still probably just watch it if it was on. It wasn't like the people saying it's the worst movie of the year. Again, you just don't watch enough movies. There's at least some good to find in this one.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you, Derek. I think I gave it a 5 out of 10 as well. Maggie Gyllenhaal swings for the fences, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. I respect the ambition to go for it. It doesn't always work, but I would rather take that than someone who plays it safe and we just get a regular adaptation of The Bride, a movie that's been made before, and having the Frankenstein character. It's different, and I'll take that. Honestly, again, nowhere near the worst movie of the year. Even if I hadn't seen Mercy or something else earlier this year, at the end of the year, this is not even going to crack the top 10 worst. It's not. It has respectable things about it, even on a technical level. It's fine. You know, it's not offensive in the slightest.
Yeah. How are you feeling about it, Luca? You ready to see The Bride?
I'm gonna get so stoned and watch this shit when it comes to HBO.
That's the way to do it.
I got the plan all figured out.
Yeah, you got it. You're doing it right. You're doing the Lord's work, Luca. And actually, so we'll just move on to you. So, Luca, what's a March movie that you want to chat about?
All right, let's hop back on the We're So Back train. This is not what you guys are gonna expect me to say, but new Pixar film Hoppers is doing really well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like really well. And I didn't expect it just because I don't know. I mean, I said this in my review for it. Plug it. This is ForReel.com.
Great
that
website.
like I said that like I didn't want to jinx it and say that this is going to be like a really big hit because I thought the same thing of Elio when it came out, and that thing just but I'm really stoked to see that people are vibing with Hoppers. Like, I didn't think it was like the best movie ever or anything. Honestly, like in like the recent trifecta, I'd put it like, you know, Flo, the Wild Robot, Hoppers, you know, like, but it was still solid. And I got the box office stats pulled up, which I don't really care about most of the time, but we're on the Movies Are Back podcast, so let's do our homework a bit. We're sitting at a nice and comfortable 298 million off of a 150 million budget. That's really good, I think. I don't know. Math is not my strong suit, but it's definitely better than Elio did. A lot of my friends are seeing it. I'm hearing word of mouth about it. And again, like, it's also like pretty cute. Like it's got a good heart at the center of it. John Hamm is really funny in it until he turns into Dave Franco. No, I'm not going to elaborate on how that happens. It's a very odd movie that I'm really happy to see doing well. And the guy who made it, Daniel Chong, I've actually been paying attention to him for well over a decade purely by mistake, because he did the show when I was a kid called We Bare Bears. And I loved that show when it was airing. And this is his first theatrical feature. And I'm just really happy about this movie. I'm happy it's doing well. I'm happy that people are talking about it. And I'm happy that Pixar might not have to make Toy Story 6.
Yeah, they're not concerned as whether or not they have to. They're going to because they are. Because
I don't want to think about it.
I know.
Pixar is so weird these past couple years because Elemental didn't do well, but then over the next couple weeks was like making more and more money. Then became a hit on Disney Plus. Inside Out 2 became the highest grossing animated movie of all time at the time of its release. Then Elio bombed. So it's really hard to tell whether or not a Pixar movie is going to do good. So I completely understand the qualms going into Hoppers. Is this going to be a hit or not? Because it's an original movie. The sequels do amazing. It's the original ideas you really have to market and get people out of the house to go see. So it's really exciting to see Hoppers doing well. And I hope it's a sign of what's to come for Pixar having the confidence in these movies. It's really important that they're not just making Toy Story 5 and Zootopia 2 and Frozen 3, even though those are going to make $1.5 billion easily. I get it's a business, but these newer movies is just always going to be more exciting to watch. And if it finds the right crowd, it's something magical to see. You know, Moana at one point was an original movie, but the way the world just fell in love with that character, it was so cool to see. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Hoppers was also just a great movie, and I'm happy that it's finding its audience. Have you guys seen it, Zach and Derek?
This is one of the only movies in March that I have not had a chance to see.
It's cute. You'll like it.
I have a very hot take about Pixar, but I'm gonna let Zach speak before I drop my hot take bomb. Zach, yeah, talk about Hoppers here for a sec.
In terms of Hoppers, I haven't really paid attention to what Pixar's been doing since Soul during like COVID lockdown. So I've been kind of tapped out on the last few, but this one, I got a chance to see it a few weeks ago and I really, really enjoyed it. It's got a sort of like heart to it that I haven't really seen in honestly most Pixar movies. Like it to echo Sean's point, a lot of what Pixar's been doing over the last few years has just been sequel after sequel. And it's just nice to see an original animated story that is actually like quite successful. And honestly, I thought this was a really well done movie. And yeah, it's doing really well. Like my brother, who's like a casual moviegoer, has seen this movie twice for some reason. Wow. So obviously it's doing well, and it's nice to see that Pixar has kind of, like what Shawn just said, hopefully this is a lesson in that people want original storytelling, but then again, that 300 million or whatever that it's getting to now is going to be eclipsed by the fact that Toy Story 5 is going to come out in the summer and make 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think of
sure
that.
It sure is. Yep.
I didn't even know what the concept of Toy Story 5 was until, funnily enough, I saw Hoppers, and I'm like, they're doing an iPad? Like, what? Why? Come on.
Listen, I'm there. I'm seated.
I'm there. I'm never not there. It's Toy Story. Yeah. You play.
These are my toys. These toys belong to me. Like they have raised me, and if you're gonna put them on the big screen, I'm gonna kick and scream and begrudge it. But I will be seated day one.
Bald Woody.
I'm sorry.
Woody's bald now.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's the sign of the times.
It is. It really is.
Nice.
Thank you,
Nice.
Project
That's
Jumper.
the real recession indicator is the fact that Woody's bald.
Amaze. So, okay, here's my hot take. There have been 28 Pixar movies that have been released. I am of the belief that Pixar has only made 2 bad films.
Ooh.
All the rest of them are quite good.
Which ones?
Anybody want to guess?
Cars 2.
Cars 2 and
Good Dinosaur.
Yes. Cars 2 is atrocious. Thank you.
I don't like Brave, but I know most
With
people.
Good Dinosaur Pixar?
Yes.
Good Dinosaur is excellent.
Okay, never mind.
I'm thinking Incredibles 2, but that one does have Bob.
It's not a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie.
It's like fine.
It's fine. So
truly
listen,
bad Pixar movie. Lightyear?
Yes.
Oh, geez, I forgot
done,
all
Sean.
about that.
Well done.
You didn't like
2 for
Interstellar
2.
Buzz Lightyear?
No, I did not. Where he's out here looking like a cop who turned his body cam off. Yeah, not down at all. Oh God, Thomas is going to clip that, and then I'm never going to be allowed to podcast ever again. So yeah, those are the only 2 for me. Those are the only 2 bad movies. Now there are some that are fine, right? There are like just masterpieces in the canon, and then you have good, fine. But this idea that Pixar just churns out bad movies until they make their next Toy Story one, simply because, and this ties into Luca's like, I don't really care about box office. Elemental's a great example. Elemental rules, and fuck everybody that says it doesn't. That movie is awesome. I literally just watched it the other day, and I was like, what is your problem? Like, do you guys just tell me you don't know immigrant families without telling me you don't know immigrant families? It's just admit you're racist and you only know white people. It's fine. That movie's awesome, and that song is incredible. I hate people that
yeah.
don't like that movie. It makes me so mad. But the discourse around that was just like, oh well, it's not as inventive as Toy Story, therefore it's not as good. And that's what we keep doing, right? We hold it to the standard of the first 5, and it's like, guys, they're 28 deep. Like they're not. They can't do that all the time. Like you're gonna have some that are just slightly below. But what they do too is like they just don't watch them. They just write them off. So people just jump on the discourse of things like Elemental. Actually, The Good Dinosaur, excellent example. It came out at a time where people just weren't really grasping for animation. They weren't clamoring for it. Nobody watched it, and it just disappeared into the ether. I challenge you to sit down and watch The Good Dinosaur and come away from that movie being like, yeah, that's bad Pixar. You can't. It's a great movie. It's really, really good. Just no one saw it. All of those ones. Onward, Luca, Elio, Turning Red. Oh yeah, he's in a movie, guys. He's a fish. It's pretty cool. All of those movies. All of those movies are very good. People just didn't watch them. So that's my hot Pixar take.
I think that's fair. Some are better than others, but people hold Pixar to this ridiculously high standard of being Toy Story, Incredibles, Monsters Inc. consistently, and we're just not there anymore. Hoppers is a great movie, but it's nothing like Toy Story. The humor, the animation style, the voice acting, the story, nothing about it is Toy Story, but it holds on it stands on its own, and it's still great. The world has changed so much. The leadership at Pixar has changed, which does matter. You know, John Lasseter isn't a great person, but when he was at Pixar, he was a great head of studio for them. Pete Docter is also fantastic, but it's different.
Except for his latest comments, but that's not this podcast.
Yes. But
Yeah.
Those are cringe as hell. I was like, ooh, you don't watch the movies you make, do you?
For the guy that made Inside Out to make those comments too, like
right.
Why?
Like, what are we doing here, bro? What are you even
that's
talking
about waiting to happen. I can't believe Disney let that happen. But it's just a different world and different time, and people just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if Pixar. I'm not mad at Pixar for setting such a high standard because we got incredible movies out of that, and we're just not gonna get those every time, like you said, Derek. So it just sucks that people expect that every single time, and they're just not gonna see it. Like if you're not seeing Hoppers is basically Toy Story, they're not gonna go see it. Not that it's the case; it's doing well, right. But Elio, all the Pixar movies that didn't do well post COVID, especially, it sucks.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to your pick here in a second, but not to belabor the point. But also things like Toy Story, Incredibles, Monsters Inc. Those were all risks and small original ideas to begin with. Just because they spiraled into like tentpole franchises doesn't change the fact that they were just as unknown as your Turning Reds and your Onwards and your Good Dinosaurs. Like they weren't any different than that. We just hadn't seen it before. And so we all like went to do it. So, you know, holding these other movies to that stand, to me, I just don't think that's really fair. So yeah, there's only 2 bad Pixar movies that have ever been made. That can change, right? Like Toy Story 5, it won't, but it could be an abomination. We don't know. But of the released movies, I believe that there are only 2. Shawn, what is a March movie you'd like to talk about?
Okay, so we talked about The Bride and Hoppers. I'm going to go for one that I saw just a couple of days ago. It premiered at South by Southwest, came out immediately after, and that is They Will Kill You. I had a fun time with this movie. Stars Zazie Beetz as a housekeeper that gets hired in this high-res building in New York, and everything is not what it seems. And it's a very interesting situation because it's really hard to talk about without going into spoilers too much. But if I'm just going to go off the trailers, there are people trying to kill other people, and it will be compared to Ready or Not, which is a great movie about a group of rich people trying to kill this one person. And what makes it even weirder is that the sequel to Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, came out the week before. So there's just going to be comparisons and thinking that it's unoriginal or it's just mooching off this idea. But
Real quick though, Zach and I were talking about it off there. They're not comparable. They are the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
Ready or Not 2 and They Will Kill You are the exact same movie. They're executed differently, but they're the same movie.
Oh, literally.
Yeah,
One has
especially the
sauce
last
and the other
half.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like again, like I don't want to go into too much, but like the Zazie Beetz and I don't know how you pronounce it, but
Malala.
Yeah.
Mahala, yeah. Like they're dynamic, and Catherine was it Catherine Newton? Catherine Newton and Samara Weaving, like
Dude, straight up My Cousin Vinny, identical.
But I had a fun time with it. I was so excited to see Zazie Beetz in a lead role because, to my knowledge, she really hasn't had a lead role, and definitely not to this extent, at this high profile. She's been great in supporting roles in Joker and Deadpool 2 and Bullet Train, and even on TV, she was nominated for an Emmy for Atlanta. Like, she's a great actress. Mm-hmm. I'm happy that she finally had her time to shine. I think she worked with the dynamic of the story of the film's tone very well. It's over the top and exaggerated, and the way she delivers a lot of her lines, a lot of her cursing, I just had a lot of fun with it. It's a tight 90 minutes, and yeah, it's nothing to I didn't leave the movie thinking it was like one of my favorites of the year, but honestly, I just had a fun time with it. A movie like that just has to be silly. Patricia Arquette was great. The turns this film takes, it was just fun. Yes, it's repetitive and a lot like Ready or Not, but are pretty much the same. But I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, because at the end of the day, I had a fun time with it. I don't know what you guys thought.
For me, I felt that like They Will Kill You kind of got the edge on Ready or Not 2, because, and I said this about Ready or Not 2, I kind of feel like a broken record, but like Radio Silence, the first time you blow a bunch of people up, it's really cool and really exciting. Second time in Abigail, I'm like, oh, that was fun, but like, you know, I'm expecting it now. And then Ready or Not 2, I'm just like, yo, you guys just run out of ideas? Mm-hmm. Like, come on, like you guys had some good kills in Scream 5 and 6. What happened here? I do think They Will Kill You gets the edge on kind of, creative violence. I'll word it. Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So outlandish and fun. Like there is a sequence involving a severed optic nerve that is just a riot. It is so fucking funny, and
that I will tell you that gave this movie an entire extra star.
Yep,
just for creativity, practical effects. And just being completely bonkers out there, something I've never seen before. I was like, whole extra star. Just for this.
Genuinely. Like, it's so gross and violent. Like, and like you can tell that there's really great practical effects going into it. Like, there's a bit where Zazie Beetz cuts somebody's foot clean off, and you can see that like it looks like a real foot that just got cut through. But it's very silly, and honestly, it kind of, I don't know. I hate comparing filmmakers to this because it feels like such a cop-out, but it does kind of feel like evil Wes Anderson. Mm-hmm. And it's really fun. Like, you know, there's great head explosions and limb severings and just basically just what I wanted from Ready or Not 2 in this instead.
Yeah. Zach, what about you?
So pretty much everything I said in terms of negative on last week's Ready or Not 2 podcast was instantly fixed within the first 5 minutes of They Will Kill You. This movie is better in every single way, down to, like you guys mentioned, the practical effects. It was so nice as somebody who had a really big crush on Roller Girl from Boogie Nights in high school to see Heather Graham in a movie.
She looks amazing. My God.
Yep. I thought that Zazie Beetz was incredible as well. It's nice to see her, like Shawn said, lead a movie. And I think that this had, I think what was missing from Ready or Not was the sort of style that this has, or like the sort of flashiness that this has, the sort of like Tarantino-ish pastiche that this tries to do is one thing that I really, really enjoyed. And it gives it the one up on Ready or Not 2 for me. And I honestly think I as much as I like both Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton, I think that Malala and Zazie Beetz' dynamic was a lot better than theirs. It was, for sure. I much, and also this movie, I don't want to say anything other than this movie gives us Pig Trisha Arquette.
He's
Oh,
great.
true.
Like straight up final boss. It's amazing. I real quick, and then I'll send out my pick. But I think that so when I compare specifically to that dynamic that you talked about, Zach, between the sisters, you can delete Catherine Newton from Ready or Not 2, and the movie functions virtually the same way.
Yeah.
You actually can't do that with They Will Kill You, because she's much more vital to the story and the character itself. And I'm also, that's another hot take, but I actually don't think Catherine Newton is a good actress at all.
Really?
The entire movie, I was wrestling with, like, is she really bad, or is Samara Weaving that much better than her? Because I didn't believe anything that they did when they were on screen. Like, every single time I know this isn't the movie we're actually talking about, but every single time they were on screen, I was like, can we just get rid of her? I don't care. Just get rid of her. Just get rid of her. This works way better with Samara just talking to herself, honestly. Like, Samara Weaving is so electric and so magnetic and so charming, even when she's soaked in blood. Like, she is just dialed in to the genre queen. Mm-hmm. And Catherine Newton is just, I don't know, man. I'm so just not sold on her. Maybe I just haven't seen her enough in enough, but They Will Kill You is much better, even for all the pastiche criticisms that you can give of this being like a Ready or Not Tarantino knockoff, and it's repetition, and it does get ridiculous. It absolutely, by the time you get to the third act, you're just like, what is happening right now? Because it just, wow, it goes off the rails. And Sokolov is making They Will Kill You like it is the last movie he is ever going to get to make. But honestly, that's a lot of fun. And I would encourage you, and this is, I got to give props to Luca, because Luca put me onto this, but I would encourage you guys to go check out Why Don't You Just Die? Because that's what is it? Kirill Sokolov. That's his first movie, and all the carnage is still there, but it's way tighter, a lot more restrained. He's on a much smaller budget, but man, does that movie rip. Like, I was stoked to check out They Will Kill You. And They Will Kill You really is that on a bigger budget, and I was into it. So yeah.
One other thing, this movie kind of reminded me of parts of this movie kind of reminded me of The Raid.
Yeah.
Well,
big tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted more floors.
Yeah, they tease you.
Don't tease me, and then not like give. This is a time where you can show, don't tell. Like show me the floors. That's for a different podcast. Okay, so my pick. You know what? Because I just saw this yesterday, and I dug the hell out of it. I alluded to it earlier. There's a lot of movies you can pick on here. I'm gonna go with Forbidden Fruits. I think only Luca has seen this, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
All right, only Luca. Okay, so total vibes pick, but I dug this. So real quick history. So yesterday I went on like a girl boss, girly final girl movie run where every single movie that I watched yesterday, I watched 5. All 5 of them were like this. I'll list them. So it was Pretty Lethal, Forbidden Fruits, The Ascent, which is a documentary that actually just ends up being Girl Boss. I rewatched Ready or Not, and then I watched Ready or Not 2. All 5 of those movies are they're all starring women. They're all final girl, boss bitch type of shit. And I loved it. It was a great Saturday. But Forbidden Fruits, my God, you want to talk about vibes? Immaculate vibes. Everything about this movie was just made for me. Totally just fed into my veins. This is basically, I don't want to really spoil too much because I think the trailer does a really good job of not telling you anything about what it's about. But this is basically like if you took Mean Girls with The Craft, with a hint of Jawbreakers and a little bit of practical magic, and then wrote a Diablo Cody-esque language script, and then just let the ladies cook. That's basically this movie, and I loved it. I want to talk like them. I'm not a babe, but I want to add vom to my normal vocabulary. This movie is so good. Lily Reinhart is elite in this movie. She is
Great.
She's on another plane. Like, she is just operating on another level. I am really starting to come around to her. I saw her in another movie on Hulu called American Sweatshop. And she's also really good in that. I think there's some other movies that do it's kind of a Red Rooms knockoff, and Red Rooms is like one of the best movies of the decade. So it's a little knockoff of that, but she's also really good in that. But she is so good in this movie. Please don't sleep on this. If you see anybody that says it's the worst movie of the year, you have my permission to punch them in the face, because they are wrong. This movie is incredible. It is 100% going to be a cult classic hit. I'm so excited. But yeah, Luca, how'd you feel about Forbidden Fruits?
I really liked it. Like, again, it's I feel like I've been saying the word vibe too much on this podcast, but sometimes it is fun to just chill with like a group of friends, however tense the friend group may be, and just kind of hang out with them. Like, again, I really like the Diablo Cody kind of language. Again, Vom is a great one. I forget some of the other linguistic charms of it, but like, they're all so mean to each other, and it's very funny. I like that.
There's no real protagonist, by the way, in this movie.
Really.
Like, all of them are despicable, and it's great. It's really good.
I've been a fan of Victoria Pedretti for a while, ever since I saw Mike Flanagan's The Haunting of Hill House, and I think it's really great that she kind of just does Amanda Seyfried in Mean Girls. Mm-hmm. And now we're talking about Mean Girls, and I said before that we started that I was going to drop a knowledge bomb on you guys. The mall from Forbidden Fruits is the same mall from Mean Girls.
Shut up! Are you serious?
Was it filmed in Toronto?
Yeah, it was filmed here.
Oh shit, that's so cool.
So that's a little personal touch to it.
I love it.
It is such a fun movie. Again, like, you can really just hang out with it for a good, like, how long is, like, 100 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, barely an hour and a half. Like, it moves. It's got a great pace. It's a little tonally imbalanced. I'll give it that, but yeah, pacing wise, it moves pretty quick. Yeah, it's a breezy 100 minutes.
And like, it's fully indebted to, again, like The Craft, of course, Mean Girls, stuff like that. But I do think and I do want to give credit to Meredith Alloway, the writer and director, who does a really great job. But the Diablo Codyisms really seep through, and it just makes it it's just so much fun. I really enjoyed it. The last 15 minutes come out of left field in a very, very nice way. My crowd
is not ready.
Me either.
Not ready.
My crowd at South by was going ballistic for it. I was having a great. It's just a great time. Like, I don't know how else to really describe it. It's fun. The girls are mean to each other. That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys have done a great job at talking about this movie and getting me excited. I definitely want to get some time this week to watch it. It's going to be a bit tough with Mario and the drama both coming out before it gets like pushed out of theaters, which will kind of suck. But I definitely want to see now with the way you guys are talking about it. I'll out myself here. I watched the first 3 seasons of Riverdale because I was in high school, and it was hot people and murder and mystery and whatever. Show's trash, but Lily Reinhart Lily Reinhart always stuck out as someone who had a lot of potential, but she was just stuck in this bad show. But she was always better than her co-stars. And then I thought she was good in Hustlers. She didn't have a lot to do, but I thought she did her own with Keke Palmer, Constance Wu, even Jennifer Lopez. She never felt out of place, which going into that movie I thought was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So to hear, especially Derrick talk about how amazing she is, makes me excited because she seems like a great person and seems like she's a great actress too from the way you guys talk about this movie. So great job talking about and hyping me up because I really, really want to see it now.
Yeah,
it was not on my radar before we started, honestly. I barely heard anything about it.
Yeah, I didn't know this movie existed until like yesterday when I saw, I think it was a couple of you guys talking about it. And I'm like, oh, this looks like my type of thing. So I haven't gotten a chance to see it, but like Shawn said, you guys talking it up has definitely raised my anticipation. Are we done talking about this movie? Or
the only thing I'll say is if you do miss it in theaters, it is a Shudder. It's IFC Shudder. So if you miss it in theaters, just because I get it, the theaters are pretty packed right now, and April's just going to ramp up even more than March. But if you missed it, it's okay. If you have Shudder, it'll eventually be on Shudder.
Great.
Before we talk about the big one of March, I have a question for you guys. Has anyone here seen Undertone?
Yes, I saw it at Sundance.
What did you think of Undertone, Derek?
So I think as an auditory experiment, it rules. Seeing it pre-hype, seeing it without all the criticisms that got laid in on it, and all the people that came out and were like, being able to see it free of hype and just being able to just immerse myself in the auditory overload that this movie has, I was totally dialed in. I had a blast. I also kind of cheated a little bit because I sat next to two of my friends who do not do horror in the slightest.
Oh boy.
And watching them
that was awesome.
Their shit was one of the best film experiences I've ever had. I'm talking like they were crouched in their chair, gasping, covering their eyes, like literally having full-on panic attacks. And I would just look over and just laugh at them. Like it was just amazing. It was so fun. It was really, really fun.
You're just like me.
Oh yeah, I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I don't take a lot of pride in hurting other people, but that one I do. that one is a lot of fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I get it. It is hereditary light, and I understand that it does feel like someone said, "Hey, can you write an A24 movie?" And the guy was like, "I got you," and then literally wrote an A24 movie. None of that matters to me. I had a good time.
So I've been known on this podcast to be the horror guy, and so I knew, like, I had heard that this was screening around, and I know, like, I had seen a few marketing things being like, this is the scariest movie of all time. And whenever I hear that phrase, my blinders go up, and I'm like, all right, I have to. The curiosity is killing the cat. And so I went on a Friday night, I bought a ticket like a regular consumer, and I went and I saw this movie. And I'm sorry. I'm glad that people enjoyed it, but this is just not what I want horror to be. Like, this is not, you said it's an auditory experience. I say it's a bunch of loud noises just being thrown at you for no reason. Like, sure. And like, I will, like, when the lights came up and it was similar to the way that I think it was Smile ended with a lollipop, that song, Needle Drop.
Oh yeah.
It ends with a similar type of needle drop, and everybody in the theater was just like, "What the fuck? Like, what are we like?" So it clearly didn't work. I am not the only one here. I really think we also need to have a conversation, and this is for another podcast, but we definitely need to have a conversation about these marketing campaigns that these companies are putting out of like, this is the scariest movie of all time. Like, yeah, it worked for long legs, and that movie made a lot of money, but you can't do that when you only have like the last 10 minutes of your movie just be a bunch of loud noises and you move the camera around a little bit. It does not surprise me in the slightest that this director is directing, I believe it's the next Paranormal Activity film he's directing.
Yeah, it tracks.
That is a perfect fit. And I'm sure that movie will come out and do the exact same thing that Undertone did, but I just was not a fan, and it's unfortunate because I should be on here. This is a Canadian production. I should be able, like Nirvana last month, I should be full of Canadian pride right now, and I'm just not. This movie sucks.
And to be fair to Zach, I'm actually probably in the minority. I think most people kind of walked away from this.
I think when it got released,
feeling the overhype. Yeah,
it was very hyped up by like not just critics in general being like, this is scary. And then I think once it hit that, like when it got out to full release, like I've talked to a few people that are in agreement with me of like, this sucks. So I'm clearly not alone here. This is not, this is not what I want my horror to be.
Yeah. I'll actually we'll do one more quick round, and then we'll talk about the big one. So I guess we want to call it. So Shawn, do you have another movie you want to shout out? You can do multiple. If you've got like two or three that you're like, oh yeah, I watch these. I think everybody should. You can do that too. That's fine.
Well, I don't think I have any more 2026 March releases that I could talk about, but technically Kiki's Delivery Service was re-released in 4K in theaters this month, and that was fantastic. What a phenomenal, beautiful movie. Just fun, no stakes, just people just living life. It was fanciful, magical, whatever word you want to use. I sound like Benson Boone in that song. I'm sorry. I don't know. It was definitely the 4K restoration, but when I found out it was made in the 80s, I was shocked because it looked at most maybe early 2000s, 90s. The fact that that came out in the 80s and looked as beautiful as it did, the animation, the storytelling, the characters. Yeah, Ghibli, I mean, what else can I say about them? They're the man's a master. Like the studio the whole studio is just incredible, but Miyazaki is just a masterful filmmaker. There's a reason why he's considered the best. Don't really have much to say, but yeah.
Shawn, did you get a chance to see the the Mononoke re-release last year? That was incredible as well.
No, I didn't.
Man.
I'm wondering why, because I know Cineplex, at least in Canada, is also doing Secret Road of Arrietty as a re-release, and there's another movie. I know it's not all.
I think it's Ponyo as well is also getting a re-release.
Yeah, I'm really liking this push to re-release these movies, these type of movies in theaters more and get more widespread appeal, I guess, and love for these movies. So
I just want to see Spirited Away in IMAX.
I was gonna say, call me when they do Spirited Away, because that's the only.
I've never seen that movie.
I love
that's
really?
one of my big time blind spots. Yeah.
I do not like anime in any form, even ones that are stunning. And people just begged me to watch Spirited Away, and I was confused and taken aback, and also like deeply invested and straight up blown away. And then I ended up crying, and I was like, "This cannot be happening. I don't like anime. Leave me alone." But yeah, Spirited Away. So call me when Spirited Away is in IMAX, because I'll be seated.
God, I wish.
Luca, what do you got?
All right. So there's this new movie that came out, just last night, actually. Just last night. There's a movie by a fella, or it's Sunday, 2 nights ago. Whoopsie. Fella named Ben David Grabinski made a movie called Mike and Nick and Alice.
Yeah.
With James Marsden and Vince Vaughn and Isaac Gonzalez. Dolph Lundgren's in it for 5 minutes. So is Stephen Root. Keith David plays a mob boss, and Jimmy Tatro, who you may know from Vine or the first 5 minutes of Scream 7, is his son. It's just a total romp. Like, it's not going to change movie making forever or anything, but like, it's just a chill time. Again, like I was thinking about Forbidden Fruits, like sometimes it's just like fun to hang out with a group of friends who are just doing whatever. But I think what gives Mike and Nick and Alice the edge is that I feel kind of corny saying this, but it is a cinephiles movie. It's a movie for people who like very not specific, because like it is an action movie for people who own at least 5 Criterion movies.
Like, that is a great way to put it.
You've got you've got your Wong Kar-wai like slow-mo shots. You got your Tarantino crash zooms and the black and white flashbacks, which my friend said reminded them of Nirvana, the band, The Show, more than anything. You got like these like killer, but like very well done shootouts. I remember I saw Zach say on Letterboxd that it's great to have Stephen Root come back as the Raven from Barry for like 3 minutes.
God, I love it.
God, I was cracking up like crazy when I read that. But like it's just a really fun, chill movie, and there's 2 Vince Vaughns. You know, like I am a very weird person whose introduction to Vince Vaughn was not through Dodgeball, it wasn't through Swingers, it wasn't through Wedding Crashers, it was through The Lost World Jurassic Park 2.
Yes! You and me both, Luca.
And like that was my first introduction to Vince Vaughn, so I was like, wow, this guy's a really great actor. He's very serious. And then like I saw his next thing, which was Dodgeball, and was like,
it's pretty weird.
In that time, since like it's so ingrained in my brain that Vince Vaughn is more of a dramatic actor for me. Like I watched the S. Craig Zahler movies like Brawl in Cell Block 99 and Dragged Across Concrete, where he just like literally kicks ass in them. And then, Dragged Across Concrete, he does not kick ass in that movie. He's just a piece of shit in that one. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, and Vaughn has a very interesting role in Mike and Nick and Alice, as the title alludes to, that there's 2 Vince Vaughns, which is like really sick. And they have a whole shootout together with The Boys Are Backing Down playing behind it. Ooh. Like it's really fun. And James Marsden is back in a leading role, and he's very handsome. My only real gripe is that it's on Disney Plus, man. Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Yeah,
Like, I've seen a lot of people say that this is the type of movie where, like, 5 months from now, or maybe 5 months, I don't remember how DVD releases were like in the 2000s, but like this would be something that like you just went to Walgreens and the red box is outside, and you're like, Mike and Nick and Alice. That seems fun. You get the DVD from like the little kiosk. You watched it at home. You were like, it reminds me of that bygone era where we would rent movies physically. And
I'm telling you, if this movie dropped in 2003, absolute box office banger. Like that is where it needs to be. I'm with you, Luca. I really dug this one. And you mentioned that it's just fun, and that's been something that I've seen has been a theme this month in particular, where a lot of the movies that we've talked about, right, that they might not be the best of their kind, but they are just a good time at the movies. And remember when you could just do that? Remember when you could just go to the movies and have a good time, and it didn't matter what it did at the box office or how good the score was on Rotten Tomatoes or whether or not it was going to be an Oscar contender. You could just go and be like, damn, that was really cool. I had a good time. And things like They Will Kill You and Mike and Nick and Alice and Forbidden Fruits. And yes, the big one, Project Hail Mary. They're all kind of like that. They're just a good time at the movies. Also, this movie, Mike and Nick and Alice, unlocked a core memory for me. And I knew I was going to love this movie because it literally opens with Ben Schwartz horribly singing Why Should I Worry from Oliver and Company. And you guys have no idea how much that movie has an indelible effect on me. And if you guys haven't seen Oliver and Company, you absolutely have to. It's an absolute hidden gem for Disney releases. It's so good. It's basically the Disney animated version of Oliver Twist, but it's with dogs that live on the street in New York. That's and it's awesome. And Billy Joel does the soundtrack, and it's incredible. So I always think about this because before there was the meme of Phil Collins like lighting the piano on fire for the Tarzan soundtrack, Billy Joel crawled so that Phil Collins could run with Tarzan because Billy Joel is electric with his music in this movie. And so this movie opens with Ben Schwartz singing one of the signature songs from that. And I was like, oh, someone dialed into my brain and made a movie specifically for me. And then there's a whole 5-minute argument about Gilmore Girls.
I live for it.
Let's go. And then they do a callback to it. It's amazing. Jimmy Tatro also, like, please just do this all the time. I know you're always this guy, and he's got one speed, but that speed is mine, and I love it. He never changes. He's never anybody else. He's always this guy. Anything I've ever seen him in, this is who he is, and I want more of it because him and Keith David sharing the screen together as like Jimmy Tatro being Keith David's son is already funny, but those two just leaning into the absurdity of that, phenomenal. Like just phenomenal. Like fire up Mike and Nick and Alice on Hulu right now. You'll have
definitely will.
It's so good.
Okay, so we'll cap it off. A couple, just real quick, a few others that I want to mention if you guys haven't seen them, but the AI doc just came out this weekend. If you guys haven't seen it, highly recommend. That's a very, very good documentary, very balanced. Really, every time you have a question of like, well, what about this? Daniel Roher is one step ahead of you. He knows exactly what you're going to ask, and he brings in all these different perspectives. It's a really, really good, insightful documentary about the AI problem. And it's really solid. So I highly recommend that one. Pretty Lethal, which is on Amazon Prime, another like exactly as advertised, pretty mid, but kind of fun movie about ballerinas that get kidnapped and then decide to use their ballerina skills as fight skills. So yeah, want to see ballerinas with blades in their toes cut people's necks off? Fuck yeah, let's go. And Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, the extended series finale. But really they turned it into a movie for some reason. But if you're a Peaky Blinders fan and you want to just see Cillian Murphy or a farm, this is the way to go. So those are a few I wanted to mention. Obviously, please don't watch Alpha. It breaks my heart to say that, but don't. It's really bad. And I
almost saw that yesterday, and I'm very glad I didn't.
Please don't. It hurts my soul so much.
Somebody said there's a Tame Impala needle drop, and that's the only thing that I'm interested in.
I can assure
especially
you,
like the song that it is. I'm very interested to see how she would use a song like that.
I can assure you it's not worth it.
Really,
Julia DeCarno is easily one of my favorite up and coming directors. I think
Raw is like one of the best horror movies of the decade.
They're phenomenal. Like she is an incredible director. This is probably one of the biggest misses I've ever seen someone swing with so much momentum.
Because it's more of like a drama than anything, right? Like, is that why?
It's also not to wrap on it too long, but it's also like an HIV/AIDS allegory that also feels incredibly regressive and never really digs into anything beyond that. But then it also wants to be an addiction story. Then it also wants to be like a coming of age story. And then she also tries to like use some of that body horror, but it doesn't look nearly as good. And like the idea is that people that have basically the AIDS is like they turn into marble, but all of like the makeup it reminded me of Frankenstein, honestly. And I was like, well, that's not good. I didn't like that either. Alpha's really bad. I'm sorry. It hurts my soul to say that, but
one thing I want to say before we move on to the big one, I didn't get a chance to say it, but Mike and Nick and Alice, it's nice that they made a Shane Black movie without Shane Black. Like, for some reason, Ben David Grabinski made more of a Shane Black movie than Shane Black did last year.
Yeah, noticeably missing is a kid with autism, and that actually makes Mike and Nick and Alex better because Shane Black can't fucking help himself.
People,
but it's not there, so good on you, Ben.
That's funny.
He made the Nice Guys and never did anything ever again. Yeah, no.
I watched the Nice Guys in the Nice Guys is just like one of the greatest movies ever. Like for real, like
every time Ryan Gosling has a new movie coming out, it always comes back to the Nice Guys not getting a sequel. Every time without fail.
Fucking Angry Birds, dude. It's always Angry Birds.
It's always Angry Birds.
Let's jump on it. On the topic of Ryan Gosling.
All right, that was a good segue. Well done. Unintentional, but well done.
I can't believe we're an hour and 7 minutes into this, and this is the first time this movie's been mentioned.
We got to dance around it.
Yeah, we got to dance around it because it is the March Madness movie of March for sure.
It's the winner, yeah.
So of course it's Project Hail Mary, which is just a stunning sci-fi epic that borrows from everyone and still manages to come out on top. So yeah, let's do it, guys. Let's talk about Project Hail Mary before we wrap this up.
I loved this movie so much. I am fully ready to say that I'm biased because I read the book and finished the book 2 days before seeing the movie, so it was really fresh in my mind. But even reading the book, I was like, fuck, this is really good. And I'll dance around it for anybody who, for some reason, hasn't seen Project Hail Mary by now. But there's a scene where our good friend Rocky is in some peril, and I'm like actually reading the book, and I'm like, oh man, like it's like that. It's like that. I saw Bill Jabiri from Vulture say that it's the class clown of the guy in space movies. Yeah. It kind of is, but as a former class clown, it really resonates with me specifically. It is so beautiful to look at. It is it's so funny. Again, looping back to it, Gosling's back in like his Nice Guys bag, like when he first kind of awakens in the spaceship and he's just going like, like that's Holland March. That's Holland March in space. Like there's no dancing around it. I'm like speechless. I've seen this movie twice now, and I still it just still gobsmacks me. It goes so stupid in IMAX, and it even looks good in standard because they do like the aspect ratio changes even if you're not seeing an IMAX theater, which is really great.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I mean, I wouldn't have even found that out if I didn't have to emergency pivot to standard screening with my friends when I was back in Chicago. But those guys don't watch movies very often, and they loved it. And I just think that, like, again, like back to what you were saying earlier, Derek, people are just looking for a good time right now. And Project Hail Mary is a good time in spades. And I don't know, I feel remiss because I feel like it's kind of cliche to say, like, you know, it's the movie we need right now, but like, you know, it is like kind of nice to like just think for a second, like, wouldn't it be great if like the entire world worked together on a serious issue for like once in anything?
Sorry.
Luca, I literally opened my review with remember joy, remember hope, because that's what Project Hail Mary makes me feel, and we don't feel that in reality. That's for God sure, but we also don't really get that from movies that often, right? Like movies, I feel, and this isn't a knock on cinema by any means. We don't need cookie cutter feel good shit all the time at all, but like we don't get a lot of stuff that just makes you feel good. That, you know, you just leave the theater and you are in space, you are floating, and you're just like, man, that was just a good time. I feel good about things right now, and that's how I felt when I left Project Hail Mary. I don't think everything works. You know, I think it's got a one too many Return of the King endings. I don't think that's good. I do think that some of the pacing gets a little away from it as it kind of transitions back and forth between the current story and the flashbacks. Some flashbacks I think work better than others. But regardless of all of that, like, yeah, this is the movie we need right now, and this is what movies should be. This is how you should feel when you leave movies. And if this is what we're gonna do, then please just keep making movies like this. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, Zach, you want to go?
Sure. I'll start off with a quick story. We opened this podcast, and to kind of circle it back, we talked about whether or not it's so back or we're so over. The fact that I was able to sit down in an IMAX 70 millimeter theater and see the trailer for both Dune 3 and then the Odyssey, not even the Odyssey trailer, but the prologue for the Odyssey. And I got a chance to see this movie for a second time with my brother last week. And the look of just pure joy and excitement in his eyes when the Odyssey trailer ended, and he looked at me like, we have to see that. Like, movies are back. I was waiting to tell that story until now, but that is my we're back story of this. This is, so I wrote this in my Letterboxd review, but when I go to the movies, and it's kind of talking about what you guys were speaking about earlier with the whole joy thing, but when I go to the movies, I look for that joy, and that's what this movie gave me. Like what you guys said, I think that it's definitely tied to a lot of its hallmarks. Like there's a lot of like 2001, Interstellar. I would put this more in the caliber of something like Interstellar as opposed to The Martian. Like, not to compare the two Andy Weir adaptations, but I think that this one is a lot more successful in its translation from book to screen. One thing that I don't really like about Weir's writing is he's very like, it's a lot of like science brained things. Like there's a lot of math, and like obviously math isn't really my strong suit, so like I'm not like it's a lot of that was taken away from the movie, like a lot of Grace's inner monologue that I had an issue with in the novel. And so and I can't believe I've been talking about this movie for like 5 minutes and I haven't even mentioned my best friend Rocky. Like just the idea of Rocky, like this is genuinely one of my favorite cinematic inventions of the decade. Just like the feeling that I had seeing this for the first time at the screening, and you see Rocky's ship, just like it's I haven't had that feeling in forever, and I'm really happy that this movie is obviously the success that it is, and it just shows that 2026 is going to be a good year. This is the first kind of mile marker movie, and I'm sure it's the first of many.
Yeah, Derek, I'm in the same boat as you where I really enjoy this movie. I don't love it. Also have some pacing issues. The ending takes a bit to get to where it needs to be, but it's undeniable.
By the way, I just love that I keep chipping away at Sean's positivity, just little by little. That by like the end of 2026 is going to be like, movies suck, guys. I'm ready for it. It's my long-term
guys. It's never been more over.
I'm so excited.
Sean's still poking out.
Yep. I'm gonna kill all of his hope. But anyways, continue.
You say that with such a big smile on your face. It's so funny.
Walking astrophage.
You're gonna see my Tiffany. I'm like, good morning. I'm like, what's good about it? I'm watching the movies today. It's like, do I want to be here?
Oh, so good.
But it's undeniable to deny Ryan Gosling's just natural charisma. I don't think there's an actor working in Hollywood that could have carried this movie like he did working alongside Rocky. He's just funny, likable, any way you want to put it. He's just the guy. It's hard to say he's having a moment with Barbie, but like he's been having the moment his whole career. He's just that guy. And the movie, like you guys have been saying, it's absolutely stunning. One of the best looking movies ever. I really do put it on par with some shots in 2001: A Space Odyssey, Interstellar. It's beautiful. I could not believe the stuff I was seeing, and I cannot recommend it enough to see. Not only IMAX, but if you can, 70 millimeter. I know that's
John, did you see it in IMAX 70 millimeter?
yes, it's a
Awesome.
privilege.
I did too. I did too.
It's a privilege. Like if I
Yeah.
was living hours away, I might have gone. I probably would have. I'm very fortunate to live so close to a 70 millimeter IMAX theater, but I can't recommend it enough. And what you were saying before about your brother Zach, him seeing it. My sister, who sees maybe 10 movies a year in the theater, I bought her a ticket to go see it in IMAX 70 millimeter, and she was looking to see it yesterday. It was sold out. Today is sold out. Monday night, I think it's the 6:20. Barely any seats left. Like it's so.
And they're still taking it out for Mario. That's bullshit.
I know.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
No, it's
It's
not.
dumb.
No.
When I saw it,
Me
Not in my- I
and
saw
Luca
it in
talked
70.
about this the other day. It's bullshit. I'm not.
yeah, I was gonna say I saw it in 70 millimeter IMAX. To your point, Sean, and I saw it at my local Regal. That theater is never packed. Like I've seen
Really?
Marvel premieres, and there's still like I never purchase a ticket before I go because there's always going to be an open seat. Doesn't matter Friday, Thursday, like literally doesn't matter. I could just walk in and buy my ticket at concessions. I do that all the time. I had one of the worst seats you can have in a 70 millimeter IMAX screening because there were no other seats available, and I still was just blown away by it. So yeah, it's doing something
It's
in the cultural
special when that
zeitgeist for sure.
happens.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
really
Sinners
is.
did that one battle after
Mhm.
another. No, I don't think to this extent, but it's really special when this happens, and it's cool seeing it happen more and more consistently because people keep saying theaters are dying, theaters are closing. They're not going anywhere, guys. Not if Project Hail Mary has anything to say about it. With the passion behind it, the box office it's doing is doing great, and seeing every showing in IMAX 70 millimeter, and I'm sure regular cinemas too. I know a theater even closer to me that just has regular standard showings. I hear that's doing, and it's in a family area. It's selling out and it's doing well. The word of mouth, the way people are talking about it, you can't say theaters are going to be taken out of business. They're not. Movies, and sorry to continue that point I was making, that thing Ryan Gosling said, where it's not up to you guys to go see these movies. It's up to us to make the movies that you guys want to see. And we see it every time people are like, oh, nothing good is coming out. People don't want to go to the movies anymore. A Project Hail Mary comes out, a Sinners comes out. There will be movies coming out in the summer, in the fall, in the winter that are going to push people to go to the movies. And it's just constant repetition where we have to prove these people wrong, that movies are here to stay, and movie theaters are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. As long as these studios are making the Project Hail Marys, the one battle after another. And it's crazy that it seems to be more or less Warner Brothers that is doing this over and over again more than any studio, and they just got bought out by Paramount. I don't know what the future holds. It's very grim sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
I don't really want to touch that.
I know, but
this is even, you could even say, because this is an Amazon movie, so that's tied into that.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed, and I want to mention that they, for the 70 millimeter print, they don't have, there's like an opening logo that's like an Amazon original that is not on the 70 millimeter print that apparently is on, which is really funny to me.
Yeah, because I actually didn't even know it was an Amazon movie until I sat down to write my review, and I was like, wait, I didn't see that. I would have known.
But we're just in a good place right now with Project Hail Mary at the forefront, and we'll see what happens in the next couple months. But it gives us hope.
Yeah.
It gives us hope. It gives, like what you said there, it gives us joy. This is what the movies are all about. It's a special communal experience, and we don't get it every week. It may take time until we get the next one, but it's here right now, and that's just exciting to be a part of, living in this moment.
Yeah.
The next one comes in July with the Odyssey.
The Odyssey, yeah. Real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. But I was actually kind of skeptical about the Odyssey because
did you see that prologue when you saw
I
it?
Certainly did.
Yeah,
and by God,
man.
I can tell you that changed my mind real
That's
quick.
gonna be an experience.
I saw, when you watch just the teaser, you're kind of like, I don't. What is Nolan doing? This is
Nolan's like a mix of Gladiator, kind of like David Lean.
Yeah, I was like, what is
a little bit
this?
of Tenet in there just for
It's hard to say that like Nolan can let you down because he really, even movies I don't care for, there's still something pretty incredible to get from it. But I was very skeptical, and then I sat down for the Project Hail Mary, and then saw the prologue in 70 millimeter IMAX, and I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, yeah, I should go buy my ticket now. Right, got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Zach and I, we did a double feature of Sinners and One Battle After Another in IMAX 70 in December. And yeah, I know, right? Ooh, thank you, Warner Brothers. Bye. But both times we were early enough for the Odyssey prologue, and both times we were just fucking gobsmacked.
Electric.
When Bernthal catches that spear, I'm like, no.
That score, just the 5 minutes of that score, I was like, well, that's an Oscar winner. I know we can't talk about awards, but like, that's it. It's done. Like I was literally on the edge of my seat, gripping my seat rest, like digging out the cushions, and how much that score was just like in me. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening. Like, oh my, yeah, incredible. I can't wait.
There's new Nolan movie fever.
Yep. To tie it back to Project Hail Mary, this is my message. IMAX, if you're listening, build more 70 millimeter IMAX theaters. I'm not playing. Look, we got one in Illinois finally, which is like an hour out from the Chicagoland area. We need more. Yeah. Like we got Project Hail Mary coming up. They're printing prints of Disclosure Day. I hear Odyssey's coming up. This is going to be it's coming back, and IMAX, if you're listening.
Do it. Make it happen. Listen, you get to rake us over the coals with how much you want to, how expensive you want to charge for tickets. But if you keep making movies like Project Hail Mary and Sinners and One Battle and now, The Odyssey and probably Disclosure Day, like if you keep making movies that people want to see in that format, they're going to go see it in that format. Dumping bullshit like Super Mario Brothers, like we don't need that in 70 millimeter IMAX. That's just a big, loud IP kids movie. And I'm not even knocking it. I actually enjoyed the Super Mario Brothers movie, but that we don't need you to take up space there. Reserve it for the movies that people want to see. And they are telling you, like to Luca's point, audiences are speaking with their wallets. They are telling you, I will drive 2.5 hours and spend $30 a ticket to watch this movie in particular in 70 millimeter IMAX because I want to see it that way. Yes, build more 70 millimeter IMAX.
And again, just to jump back on that point, we got Digger coming this year. We got Dune coming this year. Maybe the David Robert Mitchell is shot for that format.
It's in IMAX. Yeah.
Is it digital or film? I don't know. Either way,
I think it's whatever.
Build more. That's my
more. Well, guys, thank you so much. This is a great conversation. It has actually gotten me really excited, not just for all the movies we've seen in March, but for what's coming. I agree. I think we've established that movies are so back, and it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a really good year, and we'll definitely see you guys in April, and we'll chat about all the great stuff because there's a lot of good stuff coming out in April too. So real quick, Zach, tell everybody where they can find you.
Just on social media, Twitter, anywhere. I'm sure the links will be there, but
awesome. Shawn?
You can see my video reviews on ForReel. I got stuff that just came out. I got stuff coming out in April, which is exciting. Letterboxd, S-Pier 13. I watch a lot of stuff, so if you want to keep up with what I'm watching and my thoughts on them, give me a follow.
Awesome. Luca?
You can find me on most social media platforms at Luca M8A.
Awesome. And you can find me at most social media platforms at DRock Comedy. It's DROK Comedy. You can also find all my written work on nerdbot.com as well as that hashtag show. And then always check back at ForReel for all of our wonderful podcast news. This has been the ForReel podcast. Thank you so much, and we will talk movies with you later.